Hey dudes, the boys wanted me to show the game collection, so uh WWE Day of Reckoning, one for the GameCube, and mind the mess. I'm just in the middle of depression, so Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS, Kid Icarus Uprising, Fire Emblem Echoes, Tales of the Abyss. As you can just see what the collection looks like. Is it really? Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. Everything just piled over here. Here's a broken hard drive. I dropped down the stairs once. That sucked. Super Monkey Ball. Everyone loves monkeys. This is Dusty. And there's this Club Nintendo thing that's carrying a bunch of loose DS games. Pokemon, the Prince of Persia, Spectrobes, more Pokemon, another Pokemon. Now in my 2DS XL, I have a multi-cart. It's filled with hundreds of games. 208 in one, and I counted. There is 208. It's in one. I got it because it had a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the official cart goes for like $1 billion. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. So I got the fake one. And I got a bunch of other games too. And I also got a bag over here filled with GameCube, Game Boy games. I have up here. Oh, there's the action replay. But there's a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games in here. So let me just. Yep, there it is. Jeez, there's a lot of them. I'll just put a picture up instead. I thought I had more Game Boy Color games. I guess I don't. Well, I mean, some of these came out before I was even born, but to go to some weird bootleg peak Pokemon game. There's a Dragon Ball Z game, some more Pokemon stuff, and then Castlevania Adventure, Pokemon Gold, and then Bionic Commando. I actually kind of like that game, Bionic Commando, but this one's like broken where it just like stops working after a certain level, which sucks. Alright, now we got the Game Boy games. There's a few bootlegs in here, because when I visited family in Dubai, because I was born there, and I picked up that stuff. So there's a multi-cart, 62 in one. It's filled with a bunch of NES games and NES bootlegs as well, which is pretty cool. And Dynasty Warriors, here's another Pokemon Green bootleg. It's like a weird Clefairy game. And yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary over here. You got the video thing. Spider-Man 2. Bootleg Pokemon Silver. It's not Pokemon Silver, it's some something dream game, I forgot. This is my favorite one, Metabots. Then Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors, Spider-Man, a bootleg Dragon Ball Z trading card game thing, and there's this blank thing. I'm not sure what's in this one. Let's find out. Alright, let's see. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't work. So there's this weird motion thing for Tony Hawk game, but I don't think it doesn't work for the Game Boy. Cars, Pokemon, Beyblade, Dragon Ball Z. There's another mystery thing. I'm not sure what's in this one. Let's go see. Yeah, it didn't work either. So on to the other stuff. Pokemon. Alright, now this is an anomaly. This is my only PC game. I never played it. I don't think my computer would work with it, but now it's for the PlayStation 1 games. I've actually amassed quite a big collection of these games because when I was a kid, I had a Super Nintendo first, So when we upgraded, we went to the PlayStation 1. We got 100 we paid $100. We got a PlayStation 1, two controllers, a bunch of games, and this was like when the GameCube was already out. So yeah, that it was super cheap. We got Siphon filter. Man, 2001, I got this at a thingamajig. Final Fantasy 8. I got this before PlayStation 1 games became expensive. And then ECW. I never played Need for Speed 2. Legend of Dragoon. Red Alert. I got this at another thingamajig. SmackDown. Dragon Ball GT. I tried to kill. I left this game on the floor for like a month when I was a kid, and it still works. It won't die. There's this thing. I don't know what does it say? Gran Turismo 2 Simulation. Huh. Then another copy of Final Fantasy 8 because the disc for the first copy I bought stopped working. I don't know why. But because back then this game was like $19, it wasn't really that much of an issue. But now this game's like $30 for the PS1, so not really worth it. Then Final Fantasy 7, I got this with the whole lot, so I never really paid too much money for this guy. Then Chronicles with Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. I beat Chrono Trigger on this copy. Final Fantasy 4, I played the DS one. A jam pack comes with demos of all these games. Chrono Cross, I haven't beaten this one yet. Metal Gear. And the Final Fantasy Anthology. I don't know what's in here. But Final Fantasy. What? Oh, 5 and 6. Huh. Wii games, because I was one of the few people who had a Wii. This thing, I never played it. This thing, I've never played it. This thing, I barely played it. This thing, I barely played it. This thing, I beat. This thing, I played it. This thing, I beat. This one. And that one. Alright, now to the final stretch of CD games. Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube. Fantastic Four, the one with that guy. Ultimate Spider-Man. Harry Potter. There's Harry Potter. Teenage Mutant Ninja. This was actually one of the first games that wasn't Pokemon that I beat with my brother. So that was cool. The black case, there's, I think, Super Mario Sunshine in it. Yeah. Then Dragon Ball Z Sagas, Blade, Naruto, Super Monkey Ball 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. And yeah, those are the GameCube games. I had a lot more because because I was a little kid when the GameCube came out, and it was a CD, a lot of them didn't survive. Like I have a right over here. Smash Brothers Melee, it's all dead. Doesn't even work anymore. It sucks. There's a bunch of PlayStation 2 games I've never played. We just got a PlayStation 2 a while ago. I say a while ago, but it's probably been 10 years ago. We got used and came with a few games. And Metal Gear Solid 2, I haven't played it. There's Tony Hawk, Triple H, Vince McMahon, Goku. And then a few years ago, I went through a quarter-life crisis and ended up buying a bunch of Wii games. Like how the older people, they bought NES and Super Nintendo games. I went and got a bunch of Wii games. Because I did it early, a lot of them are like dirt cheap. I spent like $300. So a few of these games I had since I was a kid, but like most of them, I just bought them like a few years ago. There's this thing. There's that guy. Prince of Persia. Another Prince of Persia. The Ultimate Alliance with the printed out thing. Tony Hawk. Soul Calibur Legends. Alone in the Dark. No More Heroes. Dragon Blade. This thing was like, a lot of these games like a few dollars. Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo. The Last Story. How much did I pay? I paid $39 for this thing. Huh. And then a Tales game. $29. Then, of course, Resident Evil 4. Spectrobes again, for some reason. Xenoblade. Sin and Punishment. Michael Jackson. We Play. Punch-Out! Now we're getting to the ones I actually owned for when I was a kid. Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 2 with the printed out thing. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. 2009. Wii Sports with the case. Far Cry. Sonic Unleashed. Zelda. Iron Man. And SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. Oh, there's another one. And Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii. I found there's a few more GameCube games. WrestleMania XIX. I just bought that, actually. WrestleMania X8. And Day of Reckoning. That's the case for Day of Reckoning. There's a bunch of older games, too. Alright. Oh, shoot. I went through all my games and didn't record. Alright. Go backwards, then. Final Fantasy. Duck. Top Gun. Simon's Quest. Prince. And Ninja Gaiden, owned by Ryan and/or Stefan. Now we're getting to the Super Nintendo. Now, the Super Nintendo was the first console I ever had. Because of the living situation at the time, being a child of immigrants, we got this from my babysitter for really cheap. So I got this when the GameCube was already out, and I didn't even know 3D graphics were a thing. So here, a lot of the games, half of them I got with the SNES, and then the others I got throughout the years. I don't have too many of them because they're like expensive, so it's crazy. But there's WWF Super WrestleMania, Metal Warriors. Now the story about this thing, because this thing is $300. Well, I mean, there's a little scuff there, but I'm not sure how much it is now. But I wanted Super Castlevania 4. I was waiting in line. The guy in front of me took Super Castlevania 4, so I just ended up taking like whichever looked cool. And I got this for $20, but now it's worth hundreds of dollars. So that's pretty neat. Then Double Dragon 4 or 5. This is the fighting one that sucks. Then WrestleMania the arcade game. This one was cool. Terminator 2. Now we're getting to the pile of games that I got with the SNES. Aladdin. Mortal Kombat 3. This one had blood in it. Freaking Tommy Moe's Skiing and Snowboarding Winter Extreme. F-Zero. And Super Mario. Hey, wait a minute. I'm missing Super Mario All-Stars. Uh-oh. My brother probably has it. Oh, wait, no. It was in the box. Super Mario All-Stars. Okay, now we're getting to the Nintendo 64 games. I'll just pick them up from the pile. Got Hexen. Nightmare Creatures. Forsaken 64. I don't know what. I think the game was like a space shooter kind of thing. Got Super Smash Brothers. WWF No Mercy. Super Mario 64 with permanent marker all over it. I don't know if I did that, or I think it had someone else's name on it. And I went over it. And ECW Hardcore Revolution. I have both the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1 version, which is weird. Then last two games, Star Fox 64 and WCW NWO Revenge. So yeah, that was my my game collection. So play games, guys. Yeah, I have to take a picture. Oh, yeah, I had a PS3, but it's in my brother's room, and I can't be bothered to because it's mainly him. Most of the PS3 games are his. And he also has a PS4 in his room. I also got a plug and play thing. Namco one. Comes with Namco games. But yeah, goodbye.